Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm here to, I don't know, maybe start a series about Rome 2 theory, more in depth than I think I've done in other cases. But I thought a good place to start would be with some kiting ideas. And there was a really good game between me and Tila in TWL Season 8 group stage, last game of the group stage, and I think it kind of exemplifies it. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe it'll be a series I can talk about some other stuff, but we'll start with this. So let's get right into it and go. So the matchup is Numidia versus Kush. Again, TWL, so no real rules except for no artillery. And Kush, Kush is a very kiteable faction. Obviously, they don't have Javcav. Numidia, not exactly known to be a strong kiting faction because they don't have good missiles, but they do have, and they don't even have very good cap. But they do have the Javcav. They have decent infantry, of course, so a lot of people will bring infantry spam. But they have, they have an A slinger unit, and that's sometimes all it takes. So, um, let's go into the armies first. I have 5 slingers up front. That's pretty much enough to kite. I'd say anything less than that is risky because there's always a chance Kush takes like 3 or 4 slingers themselves. So, if he takes 4 slingers, it's not going to be really be a kite at all. But I have 5 here. Unlikely Kush is taking 5 slingers, so you're going to have the missile advantage for sure. I have 4 Desert Legionnaires up in the middle here. I have 4 Numidian light, or actually only 3 Numidian light infantry. So only 7 infantry, and that's pretty telling that it'll kind of be a skirmish. Only 4 strong melee infantry, 3 weak ones, but I also have 3 shock cav, including my general armored Dominion riders. Kind of a trash shock cav, only 60 charge bonus, but they're good against infantry, so that's sort of the point. And also they'll do damage to cav much faster on the charge, even if they don't win. That's not really their goal. It's just to do damage. I have 1 armored desert cavalry here, just to round out the numbers, and of course 4 armored Numidian cav on the flanks here. They will be absolutely critical. Let's look at Teal's army, and he has a very, very rushy army, so this is going to be very, interesting. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 armored desert cav. He has 1 Kushite real guard, so 6 cav, so more melee cav than me, but obviously doesn't have an answer for the jav cav. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 disciples of Abdemic, so his infantry is very powerful. He has 2 swords on the flanks here. These swordsmen are like okay. Not sure if they even beat my Numidian light infantry, but they're probably pretty close. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Kushite slave spearmen, the bane of the Jav Cav existence, and cavalry generally have 80 range on their javelins, so that's pretty nice. So obviously it's going to be a rush here from Tila, and you can see it's very spread out. This is very smart from him. He's going to be able to engage everywhere, allow his disciples to get in. I've immediately put my slingers into a thicker formation here because it will mean that they can maneuver a bit better. Obviously, there's no slingers on his side. He also has a 1 Kushite slave infantry. It does have javelins, so that's annoying. But yeah, I'm in a tight formation so I can maneuver here. I'm not too tight because if I get charged, sorry, I don't want them to lose too many men if they're in like a square. But this way, they can turn and fire a bit faster, which is crucial on the kite. So let's just get into play. You can see I'm not surrounding with every unit. I'm actually creating a full surround here by putting 2 Jav Cav on the flanks and 2 behind. This is basically to, mean I have a cavalry advantage. You can see he can't flank around at all because my Jav Cav are here, and that means I have, 7 Cav as opposed to his 6, and these 2 behind will always be a problem. So I'm getting into range with my slingers. My target wants to be Cav, of course, and we'll see. But he rushes into range, so I'm probably going to get a few shots. You can see over here I'm in range, trying to double shoot. Any unit that's in range, a couple of these cheap units are going to get shot, but that's fine. Slingers have a lot of ammo, so you can see my units behind are harassing. I'm going to run away here. That's just to disorganize. Obviously, I want to try to get a few more shots, but when he's this close, it's going to be very hard to turn and shoot many more times because, he's just going to be faster than my slingers with this Kev. One thing, okay, so now here's a couple of crucial decisions that you have to make here. We know that I'm stronger in only a few places. Up the center, all of his epidemics are here, so it's going to be very hard to win anything over there. But on the flanks, it's possible to win. I have my Numidian light infantry, which are, probably a match for his swords, and easily a match for his Kushite slave spearmen. So I'm flushing them out to the wings here, and because what I want to do is I want to win somewhere. That's definitely a key. If you just get rushed and you lose everywhere, I mean, you're just going to get pushed back to the red line. So I want to win on the flanks because it'll force him to commit more units to deal with that, and that will alleviate pressure in the center on my, and more important units, really, and allow them to kite back, allow my slingers to retreat in the center, and I'll get some kills on his cav, with my own cav, and my Jav cav can, support these fights, whereas he can only support with infantry and melee cav. So it'll take him a bit more time to do that, and also, if he ever commits his melee cav, that's good, because I can get shots on them, I can get javelins on them, and reduce them. Of course, the goal for me will be to eliminate these cavalry units as fast as possible. That will make my slingers pretty much invincible. So here you can see he could have charged me here, but he doesn't really want to take javelins from 2 units there, and slingers and cav are nearby. So he decides not to. Here I do make a mistake. Gonna take a javelin volley. Better was for me to just take it and charge him, because then I would be facing shield side. I turned away and took a rear shot. Sorry, rear shot there. But you can see I've already done something really good for me, which is I've forced these units out on the flank. There's no support that doesn't come through my cav. If he wants to charge this unit, he'll just get javelin by 2 units here, or I can even counter charge potentially and retreat my unit. Over here you can see I've pulled my cav next to this unit, so I'm doing the same thing on both flanks, and this is forcing him to spread out. And when he's spread out here, it's going to be much more difficult for him to actually push against anything. You can see my infantry units are really far back, maybe even too far back. I'm pulling my slingers back now, although they might get charged. But again, I can always push my infantry forward and just double javelin any unit. These 2 Jav Cav are just behind, waiting for opportunities. Of course, at the moment, he's, got tons of units back here, but when they go forward, there will be opportunities to jav things in the rear, charge things in the rear. So I'm spreading him out. This is very good. Now, his cavalry is a bit aggressive here. It's a bit aggressive here, potentially. I don't really have a cav close by here. This unit's not really in a good position, but I need to defend my slingers. I don't want to commit my general. That's another thing. This unit has to survive, and the Jav cav have to survive. My other cav units are literally just there to kill his cav units, tie them down so I can shoot them. But my general is very crucial just because of the morale factor, and also it's a shock cav unit for the late game, and the Jav cav because they are the real powerhouse units here, not the shock cav. The shock cav with 60 charge, not a big deal, really. These guys have 36 charge, but way better stats overall. So if they survive, like 3 of them survive to kill infantry in the late game, that's really the key, and the general. So that's why this cav can't really flush all the way out here as this unit's done, because it has to also kind of defend this region. My general is there, but it's just like a fake threat. It's not really going to commit at any point. My infantry is maybe, like I said, a bit far back because the slingers might get caught here. But we'll see. So yeah, I'm pushing my cav forward here. I thought he was going to continue a charge here, so my cav unit just charged in. But here I decided to go for it on this flank. That's just going to draw his attention over here. And again, if I get a free shot cav charge, I might take a javelin volley here, but it will still be a charge into both units then. And then these guys will come in support. I have 1 Jav cav here which can flank around, and these slingers, again, the whole point of tying his units down is to get your slingers somewhere where they can just start shooting. And again, these infantry can commit at any point as well to give my slingers more time. You can see I'm sending my Jav cav over to my right flank here because I'm anticipating an engagement over here. I'm not really anticipating engagement over here, and again, this was a bit bad for me because this unit can just get charged and killed. So I maybe should have been a little closer to my own lines here, but we'll see. So here comes the charge. And he is going to get a javelin volley, but you can see his units are starting to overlap here, so my charge is going to be super good. It's going to get into both units there. He's charging me on this flank, so that's kind of bad for me, like I said. Doesn't really get a good javelin volley here, which is crucial for me because I do get a javelin volley, first of all, and my lancers don't really take any losses here. Down 10 men already. These slingers are going to get some time to escape. I can see my Jav cav are moving in here to support. So he gets a charge on this unit. I don't charge back with my Dominion cav, I just want to shoot. So I'm going to get a charge on his swordsman in return. This is decent, yeah, pretty good. Didn't lose a single man on the charge. But, both these units are going to get pretty much trashed. He's got support. I don't really have support to follow up here, so I just need to run away here and hope this light infantry can just charge into this unit and be okay. Over here, you can see his cheap units are getting destroyed. Now he's forced to send reserves. And this is quite good for me. I do not have a super big amount of cav, though, to defend my slingers on this flank. They're going to be fine because I have infantry and, these Jav cav. These Jav cav will literally win in melee against the Armored Desert Cav, so it's not a huge problem. His general did charge in here. I had to sacrifice the Numidian light infantry just to hold up all these units. 2 cav are engaged here, so this is fine. My other cav is going to get out of here. Focus firing the blob with 3 slingers. Very good. This Jav cav, yeah, you can see these guys lost 30 men trying to kill my 1 light infantry. This unit is pretty much, yeah, in a similar situation. Again, it doesn't really have anywhere to go because it's going to get attacked in the rear here. So now he only has 2 cav units that are, like, free to move around at the moment. This unit is going to retreat, and that's going to be very good for me. And again, this unit's the only one I'm super worried about. I have 2 more infantry to defend against this cav if it tries to get in here. And these 2 cav have to cycle out and move around before they can really do anything, at which time I can, refocus my units against them. So let's see what happens now. I pull back my cav. They do take some good damage from his second attack. Here's cav, gonna get a nice charge into my Desert Legionnaires. Lost 2 men. The Slinger's gonna lose some men, but they can take it 1 charge, and you know they're losing 30 men, but it's not terrible. I try to get my Jab Cav in here. You can also hit these epidemics, just slow them down. A bit of a chaos moment now is about to begin because there's really action all over the place. He did try to get his Desert Cav into my Lancer, which was a good idea. Here I have 2 Legions just going to kill off his Kushite Slave Infantry, was pushing back my Slingers. And it's really okay if my Slingers lose some men. Obviously, it's not ideal, but they were trying to get shots, which are probably pretty valuable. Trying to pull back my cav, 44 men there, not a problem. My Lancer can engage against this Armored Desert cav because there's just no support for it, so it's a totally safe engagement for me. I have support close by and my Slingers to shoot. And you can see now his unit pulled out here just instantly gets rear charged by my Armored Desert, or my Armored Minion cav. Take it out, so he's down another cav here, he's down pretty much a couple of cav at this point. And he now has to chase my units, and now these cav, which I said would have to cycle out, are now out of the fight, trying to chase my Legion, my Armored Dominion cav. I am losing my light infantry on this flank, which is kind of bad because I mean, I can kite this way, but you can see most of my Slingers are over here, so I am going to retreat this way where the red line is, and he's a bit closer than I am. But fortunately, you know, these Kushite Slave Spearmen are not really a threat. The Armored Dominion cav can take them out, and open a path. You need to, that's another thing, which I kind of didn't even do here, is the Slingers need a way to retreat away from the red line, because obviously they're already pretty close. So you want to engage on the side that you're going to retreat from. I kind of didn't do that here, because I got charged on this flank, but that was just because my general was over there, so it was a bit unlucky. But I should have been trying to retreat this way, I think, and you can see there's a lot more space here, and I'm already winning on this flank, crucially. So, yeah, probably would have been better to kite this way. But let's see, he has 1 unit that's going to engage here. I'll pull out a Legion when his epidemic charges, so I don't lose both to 1 unit, and I can just retreat. I have, you know, losing engagement here, but I'm winning over here. Again, trying to win in some places. Gonna lose over here again, epidemics, but these Legions can hold at least for a bit, and then I'm winning out here on the flank, and I have tons of cav everywhere. So this is pretty decent for me. The only problem is losing over here. I'm gonna rear charge with my Lancer. I know it's gonna get engaged by his Desert Cav here, so I just go for a charge. Because that'll allow me to get out easier with my Legions. You can see I actually choose, because this epidemics are all knocked over and fighting my cav, I actually choose to disengage both of my Legions here rather than losing one to the epidemic and saving the other. I think I can get both out. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but they're full strength, so it's possible. Here I'm just collapsing on this Desert Cav with everything so that I can kill it faster and keep my general very healthy. Losing here. Might lose over here, but I have so many Lancers in this area and the 2 Jav Cav that I could probably collapse on these Swordsmen eventually. And my light infantry are pretty healthy. And over here losing. I'm trying to flank around with my Jav Cav. You want to have them in the rear when possible, when there's not a huge threat to your Slingers. So like this unit will probably shift this way, this unit will shift this way to defend my Slingers, and then I'll come behind here. These guys will split up here and avoid his 2 Cav which are chasing me. Let's see, so yeah, this unit's gonna die. It's gonna free up 2 healthy cav for me as well. So I'm not super worried about his cav. I'm trying to chase out his Armored Desert cav here. But he runs away, so I decide to run away as well. And we'll say, let both trade. Here I get 2 Javelin Volleys potentially on this Desert cav. So yeah, that was a low unit, but it's dead now. And here I should have charged, but I saw his cav coming, so I was like, again, better to preserve the life of these Armored Numidian cav than to kill a Swordsman and potentially get countercharged there. So I route another cav here, so he's down like 3 cav at this point, maybe 2.5. I'm still very good because I have all 4 of my Jav cav. My Lancers, I have all 3 of my Lancers. I have all my cav. Only, you know, 1 of them, 2 of them are kind of taking any damage, 36, so they're still pretty healthy. So my cav is super healthy at this point compared to his. This is quite good. He still has a couple of healthy units here, but they're, again, pretty weak. This unit's going to go down here, probably to the epidemic. Just buying me time, though, because I realized I have to kite out this way, so I had to buy myself time for these Slingers to escape, and for me to kill off these units, for me to get these guys out. So I end up engaging this epidemic because I thought it would cut me off here, so I had to engage it, tie it down, and let my Slingers escape out this side. But that does mean that I need to deal with these flanking units. But I have a Desert Legionnaire right here to do that. Full strength, it will kill everything here without a problem. Of course, what he can do is just run away. But these units, 70 men here, 57 men here, they're not really a threat. 1 cav charge will kill them. You can see at this point in the game, I'm not really even using my Slingers to shoot his cav. I'm trying to get them to safety first before I can refocus targets. So that's pretty crucial. Here you can see I'm recovering all my units back to base camp, basically. Maybe it would have been good to keep 1 unit behind here, but I'm just going to reform. Yeah, this Armored Minion Rider is pretty dead, but 20 men. 20 men's still good because it can still engage. Here I thought he was going to charge on his cav. Really well played by Tula here, though. He gets in here and his cav doesn't have to take a javelin volley, so I have to engage him here. But my armored Dominion cav are on the chase. They still have javelins. And yeah, one javelin volley, they're dead. I just charge in and just eliminate this unit because yeah, he might get into my slingers. He might have gotten into my slingers there if he was lucky, but it wouldn't matter. Another cav unit going down to a double charge from my units here. Gonna take some friendly fire, but again, my slingers, you can see, focusing key targets. Taoist epidemics are here, but they're winded. They've been running quite a bit. Winded. So yeah, everything's winded. Here I blunder a cav unit, which is unfortunate. But again, he blunders this unit, and he loses his flank. And this is a key part of the battle, because now my escape is clear. I can get out this way. I have this Desert Legionnaire can tie down this epidemic, and, you know, allow the escape. Here he has a small Desert Cav with 24 men here. I'm just going to chase it down with this Armored Dominion Cav. It has Javelin Volleys probably, and I know it can just win in melee. He turns his back with his epidemic, so just some free shots. I should start escaping, though, because, you know, if he gets all the way over here, it'll be bad. I have 2 units that came back from routing on this flank, or you know, kept fighting, but I'm going to realize they're already winded, so there's no point in chasing these faster units. Quickly over here, isolated infantry, a bit risky to do this, but I want him to be distracted, right? I want him to send cav over here because I want to, you know, help my units escape. So this, Desert Legionnaire is going to die for the cause here. And allow my slingers to escape, but I'm going to counter attack on this flank. He has tired units here, winded and tired, so these swordsmen will take big damage. Epidemics don't have javelins, so there's no danger of that, and I'm just going to get out pretty for free. The only thing is that these cav are a bit tired as well, so it's not ideal. His general is still quite healthy, so I'm going to turn around and shoot him. You can see my already been cav finishing off that unit. So these units, I started to run over here, but I'm going to decide to just rest them, because there's no point in chasing units that are also, you know, running away. They're just never going to catch them. Better to have them rested, and if there's ever an end game where let's say I run out of ammo, I have some cav, he has some infantry, I could have 2 units of infantry to help my cav cycle or something like that, so better to keep them out. Here my jab cav comes here to potentially javelin his general. I'm running away here. My slingers are pretty blobbed. I would say one thing I should have done better is to spread them out. A couple of them should escape this way. A couple of them could even kite back towards the red line. Just force him to chase in one direction so I can get, you know, angles on his cav. Here, I'm a bit close to his units here, so I just pull back. The general retreats, but this is giving my slingers time to escape. And here I do make a very big blunder here, which is I was like, maybe I can just run away from these disciples. They're tired, I'm winded or something. I've already killed the swordsman, but this was a terrible mistake. This unit was like 100 men, and it runs away and just completely dies. Because the epidemics are just faster, they're very light. These guys are very heavy, so literally opposite weight classes. So they're just going to run away and take, you know, damage in the back, kill literally nothing, rather than standing and fighting. Yes, losing, but tiring this unit out more, killing some, and also opening the escape on the flank. So now I don't have any infantry here. You know, all my infantry is caught behind. But it does make it a little more questionable whether I can escape, because he can just run to the red line here with his, you know, with these 2 units or something and try to cut me off. The only thing is that I do have enough cav. Again, look how my Armored Dominion cav is all healthy. I should be second winding some units here, like this unit. With my general, I wasn't doing that, or even the general himself, which was a big mistake, because you want to have the second wind popping as many times as you can. That'll just keep my units fresh. His general's winded here as well, so it's not terrible. He also has second wind. So you can see I'm trying to escape with this unit, but yeah, it's just getting caught and dying. So bad decision there. So yeah, my cav needs to recover here. He does second wind his gen here, trying to get close. I'm turning off fire at will on my jav cav now because I want to save them all for his general at this point. The only cav unit left on the field, but you can see how good of a job I did in killing his cav. Now it's just the infantry chasing slingers. I have like all my cav units alive except for one. I mean, granted these 2 units are very low, but they can still sacrifice themselves to tie down units and allow me to escape, which is good because I still have, you know, all 4 of my important units, all 5 of my important units to jav cav with the gen. And he just has his general, and of course if his general tries to commit and dies, that's also awful for him. So now it's pretty going to be, here I just go for a charge with my general. I assume this unit didn't have any javelins, kind of wrong, but didn't really get any good javelins. Maybe it only had a few left, because I'm trying to get javelins to his general there. But because that was the frontmost unit, it does give me 1 chance to shoot his general here. I probably shouldn't have even done this, because his general was running away already. So it means he's probably going to escape my range. I probably should have used this time to spread out, probably more like this. Because that would, you know, that's more important than getting some shots on his general, because his general's not really in a position to do very much, given my cav superiority. So now here I go for a charge on his epidemics with my Dominion cav. These guys are active, so this is good against tired units, and he should at this point Normally I would say you should box, but here he can't really afford to do it because he's going to lose if he boxes. He still has a cav unit. He should try to chase me. He's close to the red line, but his units are getting very tired. You can see they're already at the very tired status. These disciples are going to get charged repeatedly by armored Dominion cav. They don't have any way to deal with that. They're very bad against cav. Here, do I take a javelin volley? I do, but I take 2 javelin volleys on my 2 lowest, HP or numbers cav. So that I'm pretty sure these guys are out of javelins. Here I'm getting some nice shots on the slingers, and you can see I'm able to just commit this low armor desert cav to stop him from getting my slingers, and he wasted 2 javelin volleys on that unit. So yes, it's gonna die, but it was gonna die no matter what, pretty much. So now my slingers are getting out. Over here, you can see this Kushite slave infantry is gonna be completely destroyed, resting these guys still. But now the escape path is pretty clear. He uses headhunt on his disciples, but I just run away and wait till he's exhausted. He might catch like 2 of these slingers potentially, but I'm gonna commit some armored desert cav or armored medium cav here just to tie him down a little bit more to get these 3 units out, because if I kill these 2 units on the flank with 3 or 4 slingers escaping, this is quite good. The 3 units that aren't being chased are going to get some shots on his general. His general's already down to 38, so it's not super healthy. Yeah, again, killing this unit, the flank is clear for me to run away, and that pretty much should spell disaster for him. He's going to get to the slinger. You can see I should get some good shots on his cav. I'm sacrificing 1 slinger. It's really not a big deal to get 4 slingers worth of volleys on him. I sent both my armored Dominion cav here, armored Dominion cav here to chase his general away. He wants to go for my slingers there, but he really can't. His units are very tired, far, far away from me. He's exhausted even, so he can't really catch me. He does get up on this like hill that exists for some reason, and so he will kill my very tired armored Dominion cav with his fresh Kushite Railguard here. Probably should have second winded them again with my general, but I'm taking this opportunity to kill basically everything on the other flank. And his general's just so far away at this point that I can get a bunch of free shots on his disciples. I can get some free charges, killing off these units. And again, I still have 2 infantry to finish anything off, but I still have most of my ammo, of course. I haven't really been shooting that much, and that's something about kiting. It's not really about shooting all the time. It's about getting key shots on cav early on, and then retreating, and saving them for the late game while your cav and your infantry deals damage to the enemy cav. So when you're being kited, the best thing you can do is keep your cav alive as late as possible. This general here, 23 men, goes for an engagement. Now I turn fire at will on. You can even hear the voice line there. 1 javelin, general is dead, and the last cav unit is off the field. So at this point, it's pretty much just clean up. As I kill the unit, my slingers escape. I can just focus everything down, but Tila knows this is GG. Yeah, focusing down the last units here, but he's just going to admit. So that's a pretty good example of a kite against a full rush. He had more melee cav than me. He had all these, cheap infantry with javelins, with the spears. But I think the key takeaway there was that I was able to engage on the flanks, and his disciples either have to then move away from to the flanks to win those fights, or run up the middle, and that gives me an escape path to the flanks for my slingers. I was also able to, charge his cav with my cav to do significant damage to them, use my jav cav to maraud across the battlefield, basically, and stop him from really getting any flank pressure. And that's why jav cav is so important for kiting. They really prevent any flanking action. You can see he never had cav around my flank that wasn't being chased down by these guys. So pretty interesting battle overall. Look at the kills. You can see the kills on my cav aren't great on these 3 units, but all of his cav didn't do anything. They all got killed, and I had enough cav remaining in these armored Dominion cav in the gen to basically like have confidence in the end game. All my slingers make it out. You can see they did take some losses from like random infantry javelins and cav charges where I was too exposed, but you can see even at the end they're not losing too many men here. On 4 of them, this is the 1 unit the general killed, but on 4 of them they're still pretty healthy and with enough ammo easily to clean it up with the cav advantage that I had. So yeah, hopefully this is a good introduction to kite kite theory. I think it was a pretty good battle overall, and we'll see if I make more of these. Maybe let me know if there's something specific you want to see a more in-depth example on like this. But yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.